Oké, vandaag gaan we reageren op dit. Ik ben echt gewoon benieuwd, dus ik kan zeggen ziek. Ik heb wel gelijk niet. Deze vorige was heel slecht, dus we gaan gewoon reageren. Let's begin.
Just a couple months ago, the RLCS held one of the most highly anticipated professional debuts in years. That's the up. Oh my goodness! It's not often these days that a single player draws so much attention and generates so much hype before even being eligible for the RLCS.
Zen jumps up and doubles it off his own backboard with a huge reset.
And even then, with such high expectations, it makes it that much easier to just come up short. But in this case, even with expectations so high.
Oh mijn god, deze guy is echt sick. Als je niet weet, een van de FF3. En ik zou het heel erg doen als je op de richting, want ik wil voor deze maand, als je vorige maand iets van 50 plays hadden, in deze maand, dan ga ik een surprise geven. En ik had denk ik wel verbaasd wat ze zijn. Dus dan zie je het wel.
This player still exceeded all of them. Allow me to show you how this all happened. How on his RLCS debut, a player named Zen single-handedly raised the bar of the entire professional scene. Before beginning, to put in perspective how much of a phenomenon this is, the hierarchy of Rocket League skill works like this. There's, of course, the entire ranked ladder, all the way up to SSL. This is where most of the population sits. But beyond that, you've got what I'll call the grinders, who are definitely better than the average SSL, but don't make a lot of money from it. Above that, there's the semi-pro players, not consistently making RLCS, but definitely up there. And ascending even higher, you have professional players. For a while, this was the pinnacle of Rocket League skill. It couldn't get any better than this. But after his debut, Zen alone has unlocked a completely new tier of skill reserved entirely for just himself. Let's take a look at how he got here. You know how I said Zen had his RLCS debut just a couple months ago? Well, technically, that's not actually true. Back almost 3 years ago, when Zen was only 13 years old, he competed in the RLCS-X Fall Regional 1 qualifiers with a team called SpaceX, his teammates being Seiko and Gaspo. The only problem being, you can't actually compete in RLCS until you're 15 years old. Zen was an unregistered player on this team. On paper, the team was actually Seiko, Gaspo, and Azu, but due to a scheduling conflict on day 3 of qualifiers, Azu was no longer available to compete on that day. So instead of forfeiting out of the tournament, eliminated from the qualifier after winning only 2 theories. And less than a day later, their foul play was caught, and the 4 of them were banned from RLCS competition for a whole year. But since Zen wasn't even eligible to compete yet, his 1-year ban would begin as soon as he turned 15, meaning he now wouldn't get for another 3 years.
Hey YouTube, today I am excited to watch that I actually haven't watched any of, but have heard a lot about, and that is the player Zen.
Jumping forward a couple years, in 2002, when Zen was finally 15 years old and just beginning to serve his year-long ban, his performance caught the attention of many viewers in the community, for many by seeing him comfortably at the top of the 2v2 leaderboard. Zen was already becoming a well-known prospect, only 15 years old and just beginning to serve his year-long ban. His performance caught the attention of many viewers in the community, for many by seeing him comfortably at the top of the 2v2.
Maar deze guy is echt fucking goed, oké? Ik kan bij niet over praten, joh. Zo sick.
This is the point in time where if you pay attention to Rocket League at all,
Hey!
what community you're in, you've probably heard about
Oh my
Still
god.
wasn't an RLCS yet, but what he did in the months leading up to it
So
by far
damn.
the most talked about Rocket League player in the world. The sequence of events that created that hype is what I'll call the streak. Starting in February, just 3 months before his RLCS,
Zieke muziek.
Zen began to do show match after show match on Johnny Boy's stream, which brought in more and more fans. The community quickly realized just how insane this guy was. Never in history has anyone had such consistency with Rocket League's most advanced mechanics, and his 1v1 show matches were where that all came to life.
One of the most mechanical players in the world. Everyone knows that he's been grinding recently, but he just cannot stop Zen. Zen is up 6-1. That Zen versus Nightblood does sound like the fastest matchup that is possible in the world of Rocket League right now. Oh, Zen's Pogo to Rebounding the ball off his own back wall. Efficient takeoff for Zen. Oh my word, what a pre-flip! How does that ball left his car so quickly?
Not only was Zen beating some of the best 1v1 players in the world, but he was hitting clip after clip on all of them, scoring in some of the most unique and impressive ways ever seen. His match against Raziers, 3-1. Against Lost, also 3-1. Apparently Jack, 3-0.
Apparently Jack, je misschien misschien niet, die ook echt fucking goed.
3-1. Even on ping disadvantage when playing on NA servers. Not a single player in the world could take him down.
Okay, with the draw. Oh, that's great from Zen. That's actually ridiculous. He sets up a rebound with a ceiling pitch. What's on there? How has he controlled that? How is he placing a ceiling pitch? What is going on?
As he kept winning show matches, he kept getting harder and harder matchups, including Yan, Daniel, and eventually
Daniel!
Still, his streak continued, not dropping a single series. You know how we say pros are playing a different game than everyone else? Well, this guy is playing a different game than the pros. It's like no one else is going for these types of shots. His mechanics are truly in their own tier of skill that no one else comes close to.
I genuinely think he is just like a year ahead of everybody of like the RLCS Pro scene.
In my opinion, already the most mechanical player without even touching RLCS yet.
I just grabbed a random replay. All the replays will do this.
After winning 11 matches straight, Zen took place in one of the most incredible 1v1 show matches of all time. Zen versus Rawas in a best of 7 for the title of undisputed best 1v1 player in the world.
Potential 7 between Rawas and Zen. I think personally Rawas has the best defense in the world. He's going to be tested in a way today that he's never been tested before though. Zen's offense is up there, maybe the best in the world for every play on the ball. He is not making any mistakes. And now he flicks up for the top corner. Rawas. A second goal here to put him in front would be an incredible advantage for Zen. Rawas starting to get a read on him. He stops the flip reset on the goal line. Looking to get the 50-50 to a safe place, and he's also got to run away from the demo. Well, that was just enough for Zen. He had to be so careful there, and he was.
Although Zen began with an early lead, as the match went on, it was so bizarre seeing how it seemed like in some situations it was impossible for him to score. He'd pull off the most perfect mind game possible with a combination of speed, power, and precision. Everything literally perfect on his attack, and still Rawas would pull out the save.
Wow. He went for another air dribble bump, but Rawas wrapped himself around it, dodges into the ball, and he comes away with possession. That is a crazy save and a monster of a flick on the counter-attack.
If you have a chance to go back and watch this series entirely, I would highly recommend it. More and more viewers piled in to watch this show match live to the point where it peaked over 15,000 viewers, making it one of the most viewed 1v1 show matches of all time.
Position for Zen, a 50-50 there compliant to his net, but he got a clean touch, and now a clean out play, and an open net as well. That allows him to just take a moment to control the ball. What does he do with that moment? He goes all in for a 2-goal lead. He's got weird dash. Well, it's Zen's game to lose now. And he doesn't make a mistake.
In the end, defense would reign supreme as Rawas closed out Game 7, so Zen's win streak would end at a total of 11. But it's important to realize that this doesn't just happen in Rocket League anymore. But Zen managed to pull it off to kick off his 1v1 show match.
Ik kan niet zoveel, oké, ik moet even vragen. Even van dit stukje. Echt sick. En ik kan deze zo wisselen van Rocket League, Rocket League, wat nog meer? Even nadenken. Het is Rocket League, Zoomvideo's, voor alles eigenlijk. Dus ik zou zeggen, doe het. Ik zou zeggen, zelfs als je het niet wilt doen, en als je denkt dat je mensen goed zou willen opbouwen in een spel, ga verder. Dat is goed in je eigen manier. Laten we verder kijken.
of highlights while he's at it. There was just one question left on people's minds. Would Zen's playstyle actually work in RLCS? Well, as the spring split approached where Zen would have his RLCS debut, that answer was about to be
There, especially in Europe, when you've got monsters on the board.
Alpha Pixie who picked it up White Toronto, so all 3 players from Vitality involved in this one. Alpha just wants to get that one to the
Zo, maar hij is ook echt jong.
Even though there had been so much pressure to perform to such high expectations, Zen kept his cool and helped Vitality to their best result in years.
too far away from the ball. What they 5 without an answer. Zen looking to beat the answer.
Zo.
As the event went on, Zen only heated up to the point where by the finals he was in full form and continued to highlights at the highest level of competition.
Then again, though, he really has stepped up this game. He's moving pretty quickly, showing. Oh my goodness, he's uncontainable.
Vitality, of course, finished the event in first place, going undefeated in their first regional in almost 2 years. And it didn't stop there. Come Regional 2, they appeared just as dominant, once again winning the entire event and dropping only a single finals before closing it out after. I'm sorry, can we just rewind this real quick? Dude literally jumps in the air to force the opponent and then somehow has the vision to stay in the air for several seconds in order to redirect it top down. Like, this sort of thing doesn't even have a name, that's how unique it is.
Ja, oh wacht, ik moet even zeggen, dat moet liggen op suikertjes. Zou ik zeggen, suikertjes. Dan reaction zonder speed te verliezen.
You can probably guess how this goes. Vitality and Zen continue to competition and become the first main region team to win all 3 regionals in a split. Not even Team BDS did that back when they were dominating RLCSX back in 2020. There was a point not long ago where RLCS meta was shifting toward a very basic, boring, bunker down playstyle where you would just score 1 or 2 goals and then what Zen and Vitality have done is turn that meta on its head and bring the RLCS back to the He changed Vitality from a team that hadn't won in almost 2 years back into a team that could set records again. It's hard to overstate how much that actually means because no individual player has been able to make an impact like that in years. And for Zen to make his LCS debut, you truly can't beat a performance like that.
Ja. Zo, dat is amazing. Abonneer naar hem en ook naar mij. Bye!